Good morning, good evening. It's Sarina Michaels here, coming to you with another little insight. Sending you my blessings to wherever you are on Mother Earth's skin. Today I want to talk about a subject very near and dear to my heart, and a subject that many of you can relate to, and that is traveling through our human lives, wanting to be in the light, but often feeling as if we're in the darkness. Struggling with heaviness, struggling with feeling abandoned or full of confusion, what we might call a dark night of the soul. Now, I differentiate between the darkness that some people, including myself, struggled with for decades, the deep depression that can be genetic or a brain chemistry issue or circumstantial, and rightly so, where you've been a victim of abuse or harassment of any kind, which can sometimes go on for a long time, leading to feelings of low self-esteem, self-hatred, self-deprecation, and so you seem to dwell in darkness. And then there's the dark night of the soul, where you might have been just fine, years and years of being fine, and then there's a gradual or even a sudden sense of withdrawal of blessing, a withdrawal of the connection with spirit, and a struggle commences then and can go on for weeks, months, even years in some cases, and is called by the many mystics and the many wise men and women of the ages different terms, but the one that is most prevalent in my culture is the dark night of the soul. Now, all I can say about it is it's hell on earth, but in the shamanic view, everything is our teacher, okay? Everything is our teacher. So darkness, which we long to escape from, can become a friend where we are in luminosity, the luminosity of deep truths which come to us through the struggle, through the suffering. Okay, so we talk about a lot about calling in the love and the light. We talk a lot about wanting to be in the light or being in the light, even if we don't know we're in the light. Now, I agree with that. We are in the light, and the cosmic drumbeat of love is eternal, is constant, is faithful, is never-ending, surrounding us and filling us and enabling us to keep going. That constant drumbeat of universal love from the source of all that is. I call it the cosmic drumbeat. But in the darkness, there can be light. It's a different kind of a light. And in fact, when I was doing a little research on this, I came across a very, very interesting thing. In the English language, in our modern day, we have a very, very literal interpretation of black and white. Okay, white is white, black is black. And it's as if they're two separate entities. But I found the word blek, B-L-A-E-C, back in the Middle Ages, was the word for black. And it actually didn't mean black the way we think of it. It meant black with light, or luminous darkness. So I love this concept of luminous darkness, where we are in the midst of struggle, where we are in the midst of learning deep compassion and love, not only for ourselves, or maybe I should put it this way, not only for others, but for ourselves. Because learning to love yourself, to forgive yourself, to have compassion upon yourself, to enable yourself to move out of the darkness, the crippling darkness, and to embrace the luminous darkness is a process, and it's a chosen process. Those of us that choose to live, those of us that choose to continue in the midst of the great blackness, the great darkness, the great despair, the dark nights of the soul, those of us in our humanness, we think about ending it all. We think about what would it be like not to be here, but to be somewhere else. And it's very, very appealing and tempting. But those of us that choose not to go that route, but to go the route of suffering, walking out of that suffering, walking out and finding ways to be a blessing to others, to be a blessing to ourselves, to learn how to receive love from others, and mostly to receive love from ourselves. This is what I call the luminous darkness, the darkness that in spite of it becomes our teacher, teaching us how to move forward, teaching us how to persevere, teaching us how to fill ourselves with positive language, teaching us how we don't want to be, teaching us how we do want to be. And in the darkness, the light gleams. The light is there, embracing us and holding us and teaching us. This is a very deep subject, and it's very, very, what's the word I want? Subjective, okay? That means that what I think about it may not be what you think about it. But what has worked for me as a person coming out of a lifelong history of mental illness and deep, dark depression is that anything is possible when you embrace things as they are rather than fighting and kicking. Sometimes it's like you might feel as if you're drowning in the darkness, okay? It could be like you're drowning, you can't breathe, you can't function, you just feel as if you're going to sink and never rise again. But you do. And this is what I've learned. You do rise, and you rise higher and higher. And as you choose to rise, and you choose to raise your vibration through practice of gratitude and positive thinking, which you may think is baloney, but I assure you it's not. It's a retraining of the brain. It's a retraining of the brain to think well of yourself, and to think that it's the possibilities that all will be well is a truth that we probably couldn't comprehend at an earlier time in life. But now, in the luminous darkness, we rise. And now there are times when I might feel I'm typically very much a person of the light, a person with a high vibration, and a person with lots and lots of love and compassion for myself and others, and deep gratitude. But there are times, when that darkness pulls at me. And so I will sit with it. What are you saying to me? What are you showing me? What's still there that needs attention? Some call it shadow work. What triggered this? What is triggering my response, this kind of response to it? What should I do about it? How can I respond to it? This is what I call the luminous darkness, the teaching darkness, the darkness that is not crippling, but is helping us to move into greater depths of our humanness, which is really the universe being made conscious. All right, that's it for today. Namaste.